Welcome to today's Explainer. Look, if you're sick and tired of unpredictable power and those completely skyrocketing electricity bills, you are in exactly the right place. Today, we're demystifying home solar power. We're going to use a fantastic, really comprehensive guide from InfoGuide NG as our source map to navigate what can be a pretty confusing world of solar setups. My goal today? To help you cut through all that technical jargon and understand exactly what it takes to bring solar energy into your own home. I totally know the feeling. You start researching solar panels and suddenly you're just drowning in terms like grid tied, charge controllers, and battery banks. It's overwhelming, right? You're probably wondering which solar system actually fits me. Well, I want you to stop looking for a magical one-size-fits-all answer right now. Actually, scratch that. There isn't one. Instead, we need to start thinking about your own personal energy needs, your home, and of course, your budget. Okay, let's dive into this. Here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with the home solar dilemma, then we'll break down on-grid systems, off-grid systems, and hybrid systems. And finally, we'll go over choosing your exact ideal setup.
Section 1. The Home Solar Dilemma. We all know the pain points that drive us to even consider solar power in the first place, right? Those agonizingly high electricity bills and those super frustrating, out-of-nowhere power outages. But here's a reality check, straight from our InfoGuide NG source. Choosing solar is definitely not a one-size-fits-all situation. The absolutely perfect system for your neighbor, it might literally be a terrible choice for you. The right choice completely depends on your specific location, your budget constraints, and your unique energy needs. And that is exactly why we need to evaluate the functional differences of the three main types of systems on the market today.
Section 2. On-grid systems explained.
All right, so our first major contender is the on-grid system. By definition, this is a solar setup that stays directly connected to the government distribution line, your local utility grid. It essentially works hand in hand with the city's power supply, utilizing what's called a net metering system to manage the flow of electricity. So how does this actually work in practice? It's surprisingly simple, honestly. Step 1, your roof's solar panels generate DC, or direct current voltage from the sun. Step 2, because your home appliances can't actually use DC, an inverter steps in and converts that electricity into AC, or alternating current power. And step 3, this AC power feeds directly into the grid and your home through that net metering system we just talked about. Easy, right? So who is this setup really for? Well, the advantages are huge. It's generally a one-time investment with very low maintenance, mainly because there are absolutely no batteries to worry about. Plus, depending on where you live, government subsidies are often available, which is a big win. But, here is the massive limitation you absolutely must keep in mind. If the grid fails, your power shuts off. No way around it. Even if the sun is shining super brightly, the inverter is designed to shut down during a power outage or a major voltage fluctuation just for safety reasons. So this setup is really best for households with high energy consumption. We're talking people running air conditioners, induction cookers, and water heaters, but only if you live in an area with a highly stable utility grid. And this brilliantly illustrates the core divide in solar technology. On-grid is entirely grid-dependent, uses zero batteries, and leaves you totally in the dark during a blackout. Now we're going to look at the exact opposite approach.
Section 3. Off-Grid Systems Explained. So if the mere thought of blackouts leaves you panicking, this is your ultimate solution for total grid independence. An off-grid system operates entirely independently of your local electricity grid. The absolute heart and soul of this particular setup is the battery bank. Because you aren't using the city's power grid as your safety net anymore, you literally have to store your own power to use when the sun goes down.
The mechanical flow here looks just a little bit different. The solar panels still generate power, but instead of sending it off to the grid, they charge your battery bank through an MPPT charge controller and an inverter. You can kind of think of the MPPT controller as a smart manager. It maximizes the power coming from those panels to ensure the batteries charge as fast and as safely as possible. Then, your home draws its power directly from those batteries. The main advantage here is pure peace of mind. You're going to have electricity even if the city grid is down for days at a time. You are completely unaffected by power cuts. But, and this is a big but, the limitation is cost. Batteries have a limited lifespan. According to InfoGuide NG, they usually die in about 4 to 5 years. That means you're looking at a pretty expensive recurring investment to replace them. Because of this, off-grid systems are really best for households with much lower electricity needs. We're talking lights, fans, and TVs. Listen, unless you are willing to spend a total fortune on a massive battery bank, this is absolutely not the system for running heavy loads like air conditioning units.
Section 4. Hybrid systems explained.
So what if you're torn?
What if you want to run heavy appliances, but you absolutely hate the idea of losing power during a storm? Well, a hybrid system is basically your best of both worlds solution. It beautifully merges the technologies we just learned about. It's a setup that combines the heavy lifting grid sharing features of an on-grid system with the blackout security and battery backup of an off-grid system. The cool thing here is that this system behaves dynamically depending on what the local utility grid is doing. When the grid is active and healthy, your hybrid system functions exactly like an on-grid system. It allows you to run those heavy loads like water heaters, and it even exports your excess power. But the second the power goes out, it seamlessly switches over to its battery backup, ensuring your essential lights and the fridge keep running for a solid 24-hour power supply. It's honestly perfectly designed for users who want grid benefits but absolutely demand blackout security.
Section 5. Choosing your ideal setup.
Okay, it's time to empower you to act as your own solar consultant using everything we've just covered. So the crucial point is this simple 3-factor diagnostic matrix provided by InfoGuide NG. Let's filter down to your perfect match. First up, look at grid stability. If your neighborhood suffers from frequent power cuts or really unstable voltage, you have to avoid a purely on-grid system. You need to choose off-grid or hybrid. Second, look at your energy load. If you refuse to give up heavy appliances like ACs and water heaters, an on-grid setup is going to be your most financially and technically viable option. Third, consider maintenance. If you want a totally set it and forget it lifestyle without worrying about expensive battery replacements every 5 years, on-grid is the undeniable winner. The ultimate advice from our source is super clear. Choose based on your specific usage load. Seriously, don't just follow general advice on the internet. And whatever you do, don't just buy what your neighbor bought. The numbers on your own utility bill and the realities of your own local power grid are literally the only things that truly matter.
And that leaves us with one final exciting thought. Take a look around your house today. Look at your appliances, think about how often your neighborhood loses power, and ask yourself, based on your appliances and your local grid, what is your home's energy future? Are you going to stick with the grid, break away completely, or build a hybrid bridge? Thank you so much for exploring this explainer with me today. And hey, happy solar planning!